To speak to us on the latest is IPID Spokesperson Ndileka Cola. A very good afternoon to you and thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon, Kio, and good afternoon to Newsroom Africa viewers.
Now, what updates can you give us at this moment on the investigation into Mthokozisi Ntumba's death?
Well, Kio, I just want to indicate that IPID is working very hard to ensure justice for Mthokozisi and to ensure closure for the family of Mthokozisi. And as such, IPID has managed to collect voluminous evidence. We have managed to gather information on the crime scene on the day that this incident was first reported, which was on the 10th of March, Wednesday last week. And the evidence that we've gathered, we've managed to process it. And at this point in time, IPID is awaiting technical reports that are very important as they form a crucial part of the investigation process. And those technical reports include ballistic analysis. They also include post-mortem. And so once we get that sort of information, and we do have eyewitnesses as well that are very much cooperating with the investigation process. So, but at this point in time, we are working very hard to ensure that there's justice for this family and there's conviction at the end of the day, and the police officers who have allegedly shot Mthokozisi dead face the full might of the law, because in a democratic state, it is really undesirable and unacceptable that we have police officers that, as alleged in this particular case, they have shot dead a civilian that was just walking out of the doctor's rooms and not even part of the protest. And even if they could have been part of the protest, that wouldn't be a sort of justification for that.
Of course. Ndileka, I just want to interrupt you there. Have you been able to identify the police officers in that CCTV footage?
The CCTV footage is part of the voluminous evidence that IPID has in its possession. And it's one of key tools or aids that are going to be assisting us in this process.
And is this investigation being categorized as a murder investigation or a homicide investigation currently?
It is a murder, and as such, according to IPID terms and the Act, it is death as a result of police action.
Mm-hmm. And are there any prospects of arrest being made soon?
Well, IPID is working very hard on the information that we have. And remember, for IPID to arrest, we need to get authority to do from the prosecutor. So when the prosecutor, when our evidential information and the technical reports, we take all those and then we present that information to the crime prosecutor. And then the crime prosecutor is going to give us approval to do so. And remember, I've just indicated that we are still awaiting the technical reports at this point in time.
Do we know how long it does take for the ballistics report and other technical reports, as well as the autopsy, to be concluded? As you mentioned, you are still waiting for them.
Well, it varies, Kio. As you know, in the country, there's backlogs and all that. But for this particular case, for cases of this nature, especially when it's death or somebody that has been raped by a police officer, those are key priorities for IPID. And as such, this matter is being fast-tracked, and we are really working around the clock and doing our best to ensure that within an acceptable and reasonable time. At the same time, whilst we're not losing sight of the fact that we still have to do the necessary check and balances. We still have to follow the due processes. So as much as possible, we are striking a serious balance as the Directorate to ensure that at the point when we arrest police officers, we are not wrongfully doing so. And there are not going to be repercussions that are, at the end of the day, going to come back to the Directorate. Whilst on the other hand, we are ensuring public trust and ensuring that we are assuring the public that we remain committed as an oversight body to ensure that we investigate this matter thoroughly, we leave no stone unturned, we look at the holistic picture so that when we get to the prosecutor, they don't say, but IPID, why have you not considered ABC? But having said that, we do have witnesses, eyewitnesses in this matter that are sort of corroborating the evidence that we have. And based on that, we are really working hard to ensure justice for Mthokozisi and closure for his family.
And just before I let you go, were there any bullet casings found at the crime scene?
Well, when you've got ballistics being examined, it means there were some cartridges that and any sort of evidential information and pieces that IPID was able to get in the crime scene. But Kiyo, I'm very skeptical to get to the details of what we were able to get, because what is of importance for us is to get justice for the family, is to get the police officers to
I definitely understand that, and I do believe it, but when you say cartridges, is that from the rubber bullets or from an actual live ammunition bullet? I'm not very technically averse with, you know, the different types of casing, if you could help me there.
And that is why I'm not going to be specific on what we're able to get on the crime scene, because that information forms critical part of the evidence that we're going to have to present before the court. And I would really appeal that, can you please be patient until the time is correct for us to present it in court, for a simple reason that we don't want to give our evidence to the police officers and their lawyers that are alleged to, the police officers that are alleged to have shot Mthokozisi, so that we ensure justice. That could compromise our case if we disclose those details. And it is for that reason only that I'm unable to disclose that at this point in time. But at an appropriate stage, those discussions, and once the contents of our investigation are in public, then we can discuss that sort of details at that point in time. Thank you.
I can respect that, and thank you so much for joining us